artists, and welcome to Printmaking Level F. Let's get started. In front of me here, I have my sketchbook all ready to go, and I've actually labeled name and printing level F on 2 pages because we're going to need 2 pages today. So let's see our learning goals first. There we go. It says, I can carve letters in foam. I can plan a complex 3-layer print with lots of details. I can print with light colors first. I can add or remove details from my print plate. And I can make a 3 reduction print using the same piece of foam. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little look at what that kind of looks like here. So the first part we're going to do is we're going to talk about letters. And then we are going to use 3 colors of ink to make our picture here. All right, so things I'm going to need the level EF bucket again. I'm going to need some ink. I'm going to need a brayer and a baron and a red plate. And then I'm also going to need some colored pencils today. All right, so here's what I want us to do first. You're going to grab a small piece of foam out of the bucket. I'm going to need a large piece eventually, but first I need a small piece because we're going to practice letters. Now, when you make your letters, printmaking is always going to be backwards. So whenever I print it, it's going to be backwards. So you can see here I've written my name forwards. So I would recommend doing that first with pencil and then practice writing it backwards with pencil as well. And when I mean backwards, I mean like the M kind of looks the same because it's kind of the same, but the R is on the opposite side and everything. It's all got to be backwards. When you feel like you have that with pencil, take a pen with your little piece and go ahead and write your name backwards, okay? When we go to print this, then it should be the right side forward. Okay, I'm going to print this here in just a little bit. What I do want us to do, though, is leave yourself some room here, but then you're going to think about another print, your picture, your mini art print. And what I'm going to do first is just draw around this because I need to plan my print first. I need to plan what it's going to look like. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and draw what it is you're going to do today. I think I'm going to do a little landscape here. Whatever you do draw, it does need to have 3 different colors that you can add in with lots of detail. So I'm just kind of giving myself a quick sketch here of what I might want to do. I'm going to do some movie magic to finish my sketch. All right, once I have my pencil sketch done, I'm going to use 3 colored pencils. These 3 colored pencils should be the colors that are of the ink. So I've chosen red, pink, and turquoise here because I have turquoise, pink, and red ink, okay? So I want to make sure those match because otherwise I'll get really confused on what I'm doing. And then I want to take those 3 colors and I want to go ahead and kind of color in what I want each color to be. Now I need to remember what the darkest one is going to be. This is my darkest color, and pink out of these is my lightest color. So I want to put them kind of in lightest to darkest order, and I want to kind of think in my head where I kind of want these colors, because remember I'm going to add and remove details, but I'm going to print with my pink first, my red second, and my turquoise last. So for me, I'm thinking I want like my first color to probably be right through here with the sun. And then maybe I want my red like through parts of this just as details on my sun, and then I want my turquoise at the bottom. So I'm going to do some movie magic and get this colored in. All right, so I've gotten this all colored in with the colors where I think I want them to be. All right, and now I've gone ahead and gotten out my printing plate so I can go ahead and show you how this one works here. I think we're going to go ahead and use pink since I'll use it again here in a little bit. Again, I don't need very much. I just massaged the ink before I got it out, before I started making the video. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink up my brayer. Remember, I'm looking for coverage on my brayer, not for the plate. Less is more ink. I don't want to very much. If I need more, I can always get more, but I can't put the ink I got out back in the tube. So Again, I'm seeing here, kind of looking at my brayer, I have a bunch of pink ink ready to go. I have my printing side, my inking side, and then I'm going to do this really skinny here. There we go. And I'm going to get that pink on there. There we go. And then when I print it, I'm going to put it down. It's okay if it goes outside the box. And then use my baren to press down. Remember, I'm not really turning it with my hand. I'm just pushing on it with all my upper body strength so that it sticks to the paper. And there it is. Now my name's forward. All right, I'm going to do some movie magic to get things cleaned up, and and then we'll hop back together. All right, I've gotten things a little cleaned up. Now I've gotten out my bigger plate here, and I'm going to start drawing my sketch with pencil first, and then I can go over it darker with the pen. Now, when I'm starting to do this, I want to think about what details I'm going to add and remove as I go. So maybe I don't want to add the dots yet when I draw it on my plate, because maybe that's a detail I add later. Maybe I don't add the grass yet, because maybe that's a detail I want to add later. So I'm going to do some movie magic again so I can get my plate drawn. All right, here we go. I have my plate drawn, but I'm not going to quite do it yet where I add all the details yet. I'm saving some of those to add later. So I'm going to go ahead and print with my pink ink first. Remember, pink was my lightest color. Also, I've chosen 3 colors that go together well. Like if I put them together, they mix really well together. So you want to also choose colors that are going to go well together. So I'm going to go ahead and ink my plate. I'm going to be printing this twice, so I have 2 tries to try it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on my plate, use my baren, and I am going to twist it this time just because I can hold on to where the plate is so it doesn't move on me. I don't want my plate to move, but I can kind of push down, make sure it sticks, and then I'm going to go ahead and take it up. That's a pretty good print. And then I'm going to do it again. Remember, sometimes prints have these faded marks, and that's one of those characteristics of printing. Printmaking is not like painting, because you are going to sometimes get those little faded marks through there where the ink didn't cover all the way, and that's okay. That's okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and print again. It's okay if it goes outside of the box. I'm going to get that printed. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to take this up. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I'm going to do some movie magic to get this cleaned up so we can move on to our next step. This is a good, in between printings, this is a good step to, if you run out of art time, this is a good step to take a pause and return to it the next art time. All right. I've gotten all my stuff kind of semi-cleaned up because I'm still going to work, but now I need to decide what I'm adding and what I'm going to remove here. So I'm looking at specifically the places I want it to be red. Remember, whatever I want to be red needs to be left white. Whatever I don't, maybe I need to cut it away. All right, so here we go. So it kind of looks like to me I need to cut away some of these rays because I want them to stay pink. And I had dots on my sketch, but I kind of decided as I was going along with this, I don't want those anymore. So I'm kind of going every other here, and I'm getting rid of some of these parts. There we go. I'm being really careful with my plate. Remember, I don't want to break it. I will need it again, okay? So I want to be very, very careful with it so that I'm not breaking what I have. And then I also need to decide what I'm adding, what kind of details I'm adding in with my pen again. So I had some lines here for stripes within my sun, so I'm going to add in my lines of what I want. And I'm going to do some moving magic to keep going. All right, so here we go. I have some parts indented. Remember, whatever is left white will be printed red when I print it again. Whatever is indented or black in this case will show, the pink will show through. So I've got my red ink out, and I'm going to get that ready to go and get it covered on my brayer so that I'm ready to print again. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and ink my plate, trying to make sure I have all these parts. There we go. Put that off to the side. And then I had forgotten earlier to put which print was which. So this is 1 of 2 and this is 2 of 2. It's important to label them so you know what order they're going in. So here's my first one again. Just like I learned in the last level, I have to match these up as best I can because once I put it down, I can't pick it up. Okay, there it is. I'm going to press with my Baron. Looks like it moved just a little bit. That's why I don't twist. Try to keep my hand on it as best I can, and I just kind of push down with my might. Okay, pick it up. Oh, that looks kind of cool, but I noticed it moved a little bit. This is why I get a second try. I get to try again. It doesn't always work the first time you do it. Okay, and you also notice that this is really almost a like watery ink, so that might have something to do with it. All right, again, I'm gonna put it down. When I put it down, I can't pick it up, and I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna press lightly with the Baron so that it doesn't move, because I noticed last time it moved. Remember, lots of art problems are solved when we just problem solve a little bit. Okay, all right, pick it up. Oh, that's much better. That is much, much, much better. I like that. Okay, movie magic so I can get cleaned up. All right, I did my movie magic. Now I'm going to look back at my sketch again. I see that I have blue pretty much just at the bottom. So I'm gonna make sure that I am getting ready for that. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut, remove, and add some more details. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the sun completely off. Remember, I do need to be careful with my plate when I'm washing it too. This will get more fragile over time as you wash it, so just be really careful when you are washing it. Okay, so I've removed those, and I'm gonna add some more details because I kind of want to see the red that's underneath. When you're doing a reduction print, it works the best if you allow some dry time between the ink colors. So maybe first you do the, like when I did the pink, maybe I did that and let it dry maybe overnight. Then maybe I did the red, and then maybe between, like I went over and went to go wash my stuff while I gave it some dry time. So that way it can dry out a little bit, because the more it is wet, the more it won't, the colors will mix. So I now have my turquoise over here. This is my last color. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my brayer all inked up. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get this all inked. Remember, it doesn't matter how you do it. Oh, I noticed this is a little faded through here. So I'm actually gonna get some more ink from my plate to make sure I get good coverage. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, and so now I'm gonna do number 1 first. Remember, try to stick it on as best as you can. Take your Baron, push, and honestly, it might be a little easier to just push with your fingers. If you're concerned about it moving, maybe you use the Baron, and if it's completely dry, but my ink is still a little wet underneath, so I'm gonna actually use my fingers and make sure I get the corners really well. Okay. Oh, that didn't work as well as I hoped. Remember, it's okay that it didn't work. It just means if it didn't print very well, it means I just need some more ink. It also might mean that my red just wasn't dry enough. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more ink. I got some more ink out. And I'm going to ink up my plate one more time. And remember, the colors are going to mix. So it might look a little purple at the end, because red and blue make purple. Get a little bit more ink here. There we go. That looks better. That's a lot better of coverage. All right, here we go. Match it up, and I'm gonna just push down on it. I get to do two because problem solving is very important. Ooh, this one's already turning out better. Oh, look at that. Happy creating!